So we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, they had actually done some quite interesting test drives of their new vehicle. Dante had gotten a bit to grips with the driving and the jump mechanic. The others doing a bit of testing, Eleni on the grappling, and Ichi and Volu preparing to be almost dangling off the back, but ready with spells and other things, prepped and leaning as the vehicle maneuvered. As they were finishing up that test, Volu got a message from High Priest Arcaner that was cut short, asking for them to return quickly as somebody has vomit as it cuts it out. We ended as Volu expressed to the group the need to head over to the temple of Astera and the Andonites. Are we just running? Because it's quite a distance, because obviously you're quite up in the...
Can we drive the car?
I mean, are you asking Thaddeus?
No.
No, I don't think we can.
No.
What a way to make an entrance, though. Put some big speakers on the back and bam, baby.
Does show everyone the vehicle.
The cars that they have though are quite slow, aren't they? The cloud coaches. Would we be faster?
Still quicker than running. But...
For you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say that maybe you would be able to, and potentially even as you're discussing this, Thaddeus would say, feel free to take one of the grounds carts. That it is, as Eleni said, it is only as fast as you can move, but it will be a easier journey.
Let's do that.
I'm just imagining something. Quick, in the van, and then we get in. It's just.
Yeah, they're not quite that slow, and you can like action move, and it's just generally not running, right? It's the same speed. It's the same speed, but just not exerting any. The
important thing here is though, do we have chilled water?
No, if you remember, that was being done by the driver was taking the water and casting ray of frost on it, and chilling it. So unless Dante, the driver right now, has the capability to chill water, boiled water maybe you need to serve tea. Tea would be a better shout for Dante maybe.
Chilled water.
But you begin making your way across the city, and while it does take a good bit of time, after about 5 minutes, you receive another sending again from High Priest Arcaner as everything is fine. We are not in danger. He vomited a quasit. We were able to deal with it, but if you could still come over, that would be useful.
Are you replying to that, Paul? Because I think you can't you, to attending? Yeah.
Yeah, I said, well, I'll be like, we're on our way. Expect us soon. And then I'll just relay the message to the guys that it's not as urgent, but it's happened again.
You another maybe 10 minutes. Sorry, Eleni, go on.
I was just going to say, like, how many quasits do you think he's got in him? I mean, like, how big is he?
Is it the same person?
You got that? Yeah. He was the one who was taken there. He was just a human, so just a little bit bigger than me.
So either there's magic making the quasits, or there's like a portal inside it. Like how does that work?
Yeah.
All of you, and actually, I won't even ask you to roll because you succeeded this roll when you previously thought about it. All of you have heard the story now, and all of you have seen the blood and have thought it's weird, or at least come to the conclusion that maybe these quasits are native in some way.
Are these
of this plane?
Are they? We know that what happened to you, Volu.
they were siphoning off energy from you. Now, with you, it was of the weave, but we know that it's happening to people who aren't magic attuned. Are they creating quasits from people's energy? Are the quasits somehow the being it's coming from? And most importantly, how many can we kill?
I think I understand that people might siphon off magic or energy to create quasits, but I don't think I imagined them creating the quasits inside somebody to be vomited up. I think that's the.
This is why I would think it could be something along that, because a portal doesn't seem to work.
Mm.
And if they're siphoning, they do it. We don't know what they're siphoning for. And
all I know is when I felt all the energy that I cast when I cast drain out of me. Maybe they're forcing these quasits into existence through these people.
I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
And as you're all discussing the vehicle, maybe another 10 minutes or so, and you begin to arrive outside the temple. As you arrive, you can see that there's 4 guards, 2 stationed at the top of the stairs by the door and 2 sort of on the pavement. They're not like halting people accessing, but they are keeping an eye out, and they do seem sort of ready. Again, as you approach, they're not like looking for you or looking at you particularly. They would sort of give you a look over, more of a glancing, make sure nothing looks odd, and then smile and nod you in if you wish to enter the temple.
Eleni would. She'd sort of step
Yeah.
straight in.
I tried to do a parallel park.
Give me a non-proficient dex check.
Surely with these vehicles, it's a little bit easy. You just
Go sideways.
Yeah.
please tell me it's yeah. Thank you. That's what we
How
like
many
to
people
see.
did he run over?
I'm
it's
just loving
it's
this kind of going forward. No.
yeah.
Austin Powers.
They reverse and it like hits and scrapes a box, and then they go forward a bit and it touches into a shop, like a stall on the road, and then they're like, oh god, and then they like reverse a bit too quickly, and then it kind of stalls and just floats awkwardly for a second, and then eventually, I think to put you out your misery, one of the guards sort of comes over and just pushes the vehicle into the space.
I would wait till he got out of the car and then I'd be like, and you're our driver.
Something wrong with the steering wheel. I believe the nut holding it was not working.
That would make perfect sense.
Okay. You head on in, and as you enter, you would see that immediately that the pews and altar area that you've been through a few times now is almost like in disarray. A few of the altars are currently being stood back up, and there is a pile of black inky goop in the middle of the room. A few of the priests, you see Brother Theo over in the corner, sort of cleaning up some of the things, who sort of waves over. And in the center, you can see Sir Volkov, a few different guards sort of looking over the area, and they're talking with High Priest Arcaner. And as you enter, they're sort of saying, and it was just a normal spell that took it out. And they sort of see you and nod, but almost also sort of just sort of say to pause a second and wait a moment. Yes. The priests that were examining the body were taken by surprise, but luckily, as it didn't attack any of us, it tried to escape immediately, and we were able to take it out here. And as you look around, you would notice that there's no, like, while the things look knocked over and stuff, it's almost like they're saying, something came barreling through this area, knocking priests and everything else over in its attempt to get out of the building. So Volkov, and the person you say they vomited it. So yes, we are looking into some potential remedies, but so far nothing has worked to heal them. We yet do not know if this is contagious, but we do fear it might be. We need to wake them somehow and find out what they've been doing in the last few days. Volkov sort of says, if you have not managed to wake them by the morning, send me a message. I have a mage who can detect thoughts. Maybe we can get some access via that means. Nod. Let us see if our anything we try works first. And they okay. And as so Volkov turns, they will see you and they nod, like they're not surprised you're here, but they just sort of give you a nod and sort of motion for the guards to move out. You would hear them as they sort of get to the front. They're like, you four with me. You four stay here and patrol the street. I want to make sure nothing else happens. And then they head out and move off. High Priest Arcanair would then sort of beckon you over. As thank you for coming so quickly. As you heard, I had not originally called you because of the quasits that's happened during. Originally, I wanted to let you know what we had found if you want to come through. And they sort of motion through to a different back room this time. So you've obviously been through into where they stay. You've seen the rooms and some of the spare sides. This is through and like out the back left side behind the altar almost. And as you're sort of motion through, you get to a door that Volu you would recognize is like warded, like almost like religiously protected. And for the arcane ones of you don't think it's like it's obviously a magical barrier, but it's almost like detecting alignment or planar alignment, right? It's trying to make sure nothing that's heavily evil or heavily etc goes in or out. Dante, the worry that you feel fades as you get to it. The High Priest Arcanair will they speak a prayer that you recognize as a hymn to Astera, and you see the lights in the glyphs off. They open up and motion you in before closing behind, and you would hear them muttering again to reseal it. As you guys enter, this was clearly like a study or a room that had like desks and things. All the desks have been pushed to the side. In the center is now a bed sort of set up on the floor with a iron magic circle surrounding the bed. It's almost like it's not fully inlaid yet. They are still in the process of sort of, you can see that one of the priests on the side is almost using a spell to begin shaping pieces of metal, and then they're like fitting it in and molding together and casting different spells. All the arcane people can tell that they are setting up a magical circle.
Dante will not go near that.
So you would know you cannot
Come on
cross
in, the water's fine.
Right?
You cannot cross it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. They as you walk in, they say they seem the act of vomiting it seems to take a lot out of them. They seem a lot more exhausted. Again, Volu, like what's happening to you and Gertrude? Gertrude? Why does that sound wrong?
No, that's
It
right.
is right.
However, this is more physical rather than mana related. It is almost taking his physical energy. They will motion you through, and Volu, as you approach. So Dante, right now, while it's not finished, you can just cross this.
Yeah, I know. I'm still not doing it. I would just kind of sit. I'll just let them manage things.
Okay.
This is what I'm thinking
Are
about.
the others going? Are you all the rest of you going forwards?
If
Yeah.
Arcanair does, then yes, I would go as you go.
Eleni, you would notice that you can cross it, but all of your moths retreat within you. And
Okay.
almost very, very quickly, they all return and scuttle into safety as you cross over.
Okay.
Again, they're not that it's set up right now, but again, they're sort of that energy
iron.
and of binding energy is all going on. And
Not that I'm good at this whatsoever. Can I do an insight for the people making the circle?
Yeah.
To just see if anyone's trying to add a bit of something to it or anything like
let's see if
that.
it's been tampered with all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Something.
Okay, with a -1, 17.
Okay. No, they just seem to be doing the jobs. It looks like very standard practice. They are. It's almost this. You actually with the 17 get the feeling that this is like a drill that they do once every blue moon because it might happen, but they've not and there's definitely some nervousness. Like you don't think they've done this before, but they are like almost. You can see one of them like reciting the next steps in their head. And they seem quite panicked, but also like they've got a job.
So all the clerics and that in the room are doing what they supposedly should be doing.
They seem to be.
Sorry.
Liam.
Yeah.
From my kind of like background of researching these kind of rituals, does it feel like this is a banishment, a binding, a keep out, a keep in, like
This is
a finding?
you would know that this is basic magic circle.
Okay.
So
So it keeps in.
So like abjurations and everything can't cross the barrier.
Yeah.
So, but it's basic. So the magic circle is the spell. Obviously, it takes a minute to cast, and it just it doesn't have to be bound in iron. If done this way, it's almost more reinforced and concrete. It can't just be dispelled or rubbed out. It's actually the iron that will make the binding. But essentially, they choose, and they are. You would not. To be fair, they are probably choosing all of them just to be safe. But you cannot. You don't have to choose all of them. So just for your own knowledge as well, Dante and such, there are.
Choose one or more.
You could choose all of them except elemental and not have yourself affected.
I did not know that.
If you ever set up your own. The creature can't teleport, willingly enter the circle or leave. Obviously, if you choose it for it to be that way. It can't teleport in or out. And if it tries to teleport, it has to charisma save.
And targets within can't be charmed or frightened. So
they have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Or possessed by the creature. So what happens if we do just shove?
Dante's bound. The binding within Dante fights with that thing.
Yeah, I know. There's no actual possession, but
yeah. So all of the spell wording talked about inside, but the last bit says you can elect to have the magic operate in reverse. So basically, it's the other way around, that people outside the circle can't be charmed. Any people inside the circle have disadvantage to attack. They can't teleport out without a charisma save. So it's binding the person and any quasits that might try and exit the person in the circle.
Oh, that poor person just inside with infinite amount of quasits.
And what you're seeing actually is the circle they're setting up is much larger than this one person needs. And as you're sort of looking it over, Arcanair says, let me show you. We are extremely worried that this is contagious, hence we are setting up a more permanent thing. Our priests out in the city are looking out for more signs of this, but they pull up the shirt, Volu, from where you saw the previous, and it is now spread the whole way up the left side of the body, and it is just like the pulsing purpley veins. They're back into feverish sweats. We have tried restorations, healing. We are trying some old remedies, old concoctions, but we have taken some samples. We are trying to maybe devise something. Maybe it is poisonous, but we are not able to detect anything about it. We need to know where he's been. If it is something that he only has encountered, maybe we can contain it. But he works in the stalls in the market. Yes.
Yeah, and that's
That-
where I saw one or two other people acting similar. So I don't know if he was just in the market and has encountered somebody, or he went away and he's now spreading it to other people.
What do you mean? So you did explain to High Priest Arcanine, didn't you, that how you saw people?
Yeah.
Maybe they're almost dazed. The process, and I don't know. When you were under the effects of the spell, were you always able to concentrate? Were you able to set your mind to tasks as easily? Maybe it is just maybe it's a side effect. I mean, rather than a. But it does not bode well if you have seen more people acting this way.
That's why I rushed him straight here.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if you or your friends have any capability of. We've tried waking. We, as new herds of Volkov, we could get a mage to detect thoughts. But I am out of ideas. And Astera is silent.
Have you tried scraping the infection away, or burning, or?
I mean, we have been careful not to harm or hurt them in any way. I mean, anytime we have cut to take samples, it doesn't seem to affect it just continues to spread. You can see they are looking fairly frustrated. You would notice maybe some exhaustion of like they are just casting off spells to try things at the minute.
Is there any like torches around, or?
I mean, if you wish to try burning it, it would probably be better to attempt it with a heated implement, maybe, so we can control the area.
Liam, just out of curiosity, Eleni, I would like to do my primeval awareness, which should tell me if there are any fiends within a mile of me.
Mm-hmm. So no fiends, one elemental.
Can I assume that that's Dante?
You can assume.
Excuse
It
me,
doesn't.
it's not-
It doesn't tell you distances or anything. It just tells
No,
you
it
if
just
they're
tells me
present.
they're there. So there's no fiends right now.
No,
Okay.
Also,
not within a mile.
Dante isn't an elemental. Rude.
There is elemental presence within this fuck.
How
You would see
is
that-
my swarm responding to the man and the purple and the?
They're quiet.
Okay.
It's almost. Give me an insight, actually, as you sort of like. You don't often. They often present you information, but they seem very quiet right now.
6.
No, unfortunately, no sound, no noise from them, but they are quieter than usual. I do not know. I am hesitant to inflict any harm. I mean, we need to talk to his family without concrete evidence. We tried using radiant damage and healings and such on some pieces that we took. They sort of motion over to a side bench where you can see there's some like not really petri dishes, but like glass dishes with cuts of and once they're off the body, they're no longer like purpley pulsing. It is almost like black, like licorice texture.
So same colour as the quasit blood then.
More like a matte version, because the quasit blood is very like oil shine slick.
Oh, okay.
It has like that shine to it.
Yeah.
This is more like, you know, like the outer layer of the licorice, all sorts, right? If you unraveled it, it's like a piece of it's like a piece of stretched out licorice.
Yummy.
I'm currently
Eat it
very
and
glad
dried
that
out.
I don't like licorice. It's like,
I love the stuff, and that still sounded great.
yeah, I mean, stumped.
You would see High Priest Darkness sort of sits on the to the side, and they are sort of like looking over different texts and stuff. There is a few priests in the corner, sort of working on over not really cauldrons, but they are working over potions and such.
I mean, Ichi, you have some experience with creatures from other planes. Is there anything that you know of or that you're capable of that could perhaps stop, even not necessarily to heal him, but maybe to stop any more quasits appearing?
I'm not fully sure. I think the hardest part is the fact that we don't know what's causing it, so I don't know what specifically to stop.
The High Priest Arcanel will say, yes, there's a few theories. We don't see any magic working on them, and we didn't notice any spell casting when they vomited. It seemed almost like a reaction. I don't know. I had a dream a few months ago. The word corruption was everywhere, scrawled onto the walls. If this is corrupting them, I don't know. There's no records of people who were corrupted turning into quasits, though.
Yeah, but he isn't turning into one, he's producing them. So it's almost like there's a corruption within.
How many hours, how long was it between him vomiting the quasit in the market to him vomiting the quasit in the temple?
Maybe about a day, like half a day at least, because it was the evening time that when Volu took them, and then you went back and rested, and went to do your driving stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's about half day because we didn't really rest.
Half a day.
I
think
didn't remember a long
good
rest.
8 to 10 hours. No, a good 8 to 10 hours, I think, because the driving stuff that you've
Okay.
been doing has been a good 4 or 5 hours of like getting there, driving, doing all your tests.
So I would say, well, I don't think there's a quasit in him right now because I can't sense any fiends right now. But perhaps if it's growing inside him, maybe it needs that amount of time to form.
We are hoping so. That is, we are ready to cast if we need to cast a hasty magic circle. But to be honest, one lone quasit is not an issue. It is more if many of these are happening all over the city, and I am confused as to which way round the things are happening. Is it that some entity is causing quasits and they are behind the weaving thing, or are the quasits you encountered due to the weaving actually because this has been happening for longer? I genuinely cannot tell at this point.
What were you doing when he produced the quasit?
We were trying, I think, greater restoration. We were trying to heal him.
Do you reckon it's feeding magic into him that's causing the quasit to come out? Like expediting the creation process?
Maybe, but why that one? We cast plenty of things on him before then.
But greater restoration affects the body. Other magic.
I think we cast lesser restoration. We cast regeneration. We cast quite a few things to try and combat the
He
the growing of the boils.
he produced the quasit when I pushed him over because he wasn't responding to any calls, was just completely blanking me. So I just tried to knock him out of what I thought was just being like under a spell or something like that. And me pushing him over is what made him produce the quasit. Has he still got those silver bands around his arms?
Hmm.
We have put all of his items and effects over there if you want to look at them. There's like a table with like, and they have changed him as well. He's in like a gown.
I'll take Ichi over with me, and I'm saying I was trying to take these off when he threw up all over me.
I might wander over just if he's outside the ring, just so I can have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone looked closer at these implements? Obviously, there's a lot cast on him.
We have detected magic. We have looked for any signs. The bands you speak of do seem purposefully crafted. They are well made, but we didn't see any magic.
Can we remove them now?
They're off. They're in like
They're
they're on
off.
it. So all of his stuff is on a table
Okay.
outside of the ring.
Is there anything that I know like about items that could be anything fiendish?
So if you want to, so anyone that wants to look at the items can give me an investigation.
Do I get advantage on this?
I will aid you, Dante.
So you get advantage anyway.
I'll give you advantage on it. I'm also thinking about the note that we found. And I'm saying this just out of game. I know we haven't, I don't think we've told Arcanair about the fabric trapdoor and what we found in there. But there was a note in there that basically was like, cause as much chaos as possible, wasn't there? And it seemed to be political. Something to do with distracting the factions or keep them guessing about what's going on. Maybe this is that.
17 on the investigation.
Okay, and a 10 from Volu. So you take a look over the clothes and the items, and you can see that they were wearing pretty basic clothes. The apron that you saw earlier, it has a few basic things in. You know, like it's not like a knife, but it's an implement for popping open the boxes that are nailed down. So it's just like a almost short little, like a little crowbar almost, just for popping open the crates. Other than that, not a great deal on them. Dante with the 17. It's actually not something that is fiend related. You sort of looking over the stuff and you immediately can tell that this person is like the market stall salesperson, right? Like maybe they switch out with another person and do some stock in the back, but you know, they've sort of got little tickets and stuff in one little pocket and, you know, a little notepad with a pencil, and you can sort of see that there's some stuff of stock taking and sold this item, etc. And, you know, sort of they seem quite organized in their stuff. And on their boots is like, I'm going to say it's not a dust you recognize, but it's not a dust that is in the market either. It's like gray and almost a little bit silvery, and it's like coating the bottom of their shoes, almost like they stepped in some weird gray silvery puddle.
Dante will pick up and lift the shoes up. These are something is on these shoes, and he's just got to wipe it, smell, see if he's.
It smells very earthy, almost like a mineral, you know, like that sort of. It tastes like mud. almost a little tingle to it.
No metaliness.
Not like a little bit, but not like copper or iron or anything like that. But just that sort of just at the back of your throat sort of taste.
Is there anywhere around here that's where is there rich in minerals around the city?
I mean, there's
Something-
mines. There are mines in the city.
High Priest Dark and I would look up and sort of look at why? What have you found?
Just some sort of
They'll come over and take a look, and they'll. Yes, you are right. This is from. This only happens around the active mines. They use in some of the areas. They use water and pressurized water systems to wash away the dirt and such, where we need to be more careful. This is the runoff. They must have been down in one of the active mines recently.
based on the rest of his clothing. He was a simp. There's nothing here to say he was anything more than a merchant.
And none of the other clothes have it, just the boots. I know, but obviously for Dante and even for the others, like it is common for a commoner to have the same pair of nice boots that they wear for things, but change outfit depending on circumstance.
So it feels like he's been somewhere which I don't know why a merchant would.
I mean, you can go down to the mines if you know somebody that works down there. Many people in the city at some point might have worked there, or their family have. Wives visit sometimes to drop off food, but yes, you are right. They rarely go down to the active areas, but it is not unheard of.
What if going down to the mine isn't what got them infected? If that happened first, you said they were wandering around in some kind of trance, didn't you? So maybe
oblivious to everyone else.
Or maybe at least the trance was put on them, sent them down to the mine, that then they could be infected there or something, and then that they went about a normal routine just to
Volu,
wait till the infection spread.
you said they were in a trance, but what were they actually doing? I mean, were they just standing, staring into space, or were they wandering in circles? Like what?
They were just going back and forth with boxes.
So were they taking the same boxes backwards and forwards, or were they taking boxes to somewhere and then coming back, or?
So, as you think,
they weren't bringing boxes back, were they?
Sometimes they were, and as you think, Volu, it's less that the what brought your attention to it was less that you saw them come and go, because people do. It was that like there were points when they like walked through a person, and as the person like, oh whoa, what the hell? They just kept going, didn't seem to notice them. And that's it wasn't that that they came and went. Maybe they were delivering something or whatever and you were sat near the market, so people were coming and going. But every now and again, you'd catch someone who was just not just rude, but like obliviously so.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm wondering about the fact that, so were they completely in a trance and just really not aware, or were they actually going through the motions of the stuff they'd normally do, or were they following instructions? It's that.
Were they pretending?
Did I see
to be
anything in the boxes? Because he fell into one.
It was just just stock. It was literally just like because when you saw him, he'd gone back to his like behind the shop, the actual shop front, and you were like in between the market stalls where you would imagine that they were maybe filling up on an order or something, or maybe restocking. And when it knocked over, it just looked like stock. It didn't look like anything weird. And I'm pretty sure did you detect magic in? I don't think you can. Can you detect magic? I can't remember if you detect magic.
I can, but I didn't. I was dispelling.
You dispelled him, yes,
Yeah.
and nothing seems to change there.
Yeah.
Is anyone around the table now? Oh, the bed. Sorry.
No, currently the priests are maybe halfway through placing the iron. There's the people in the corner that are stirring and boiling potions down, and everyone else is currently at the equipment table.
I'm going to lean over to Ichi and just be like, I have an idea. Please trust me. And Dante is going to start to walk towards the circle in the bed. Because if no one is actually around the bed except for the guy. And firstly, he's very he's just got to check to see how far are they finishing on this.
They're about halfway around on the circle. It's going to take them like another 30, 40 minutes. It's like a long process. It's not something they can do quickly.
I'm going to head over, and firstly, I'm going to look at the veins and the pulsating veins because first time I've actually been around them.
Mm-hmm. As you look at them, there's almost that deja vu familiarity for you where you can't place it, but you feel like you've seen this before.
I would then, wherever the biggest, bulge, pulse, or big kind of heartbeat of this thing is, I've got to poke it first.
Okay, as your finger meets it, you suddenly, your vision flashes over, and can everybody except Dante take off headphones, please? So, all of a sudden, you are looking down at the almost same body, but as you glance up, you're suddenly in a much more luxurious, like palace level room, and what you're now staring down at is a Freety, female by look, and they are covered in the boils and pustules, and worse than poor Joe is, as it almost seems to coat their entire body, and you feel the agony and despair. And as you flick back and again looking down on Joe with your own hand, a voice says, if you want to know how to fix it, it's going to cost you. What is it worth to save Astera?
I'm going to ignite my crimson right on my hands.
Okay, I will. As you're doing that, you would hear it's not as easy as that, but you can. For the rest of you, you would see that Dante sort of reaches over and looks over the body before lighting up their crimson right. Do you want to deal yourself the damage for doing that? As you see their arm coats in a red-orange fire.
For full-on 6 points of damage to myself. And then I'm going to try to grab at it, see if it does anything.
Okay, so as you go to touch, the priest are like, wait, and you touch, there is a tss, and then and as you pull the hand away, the pus.
I don't pull the hand away.
Okay, you feel there's no change, and your fingers are beginning to like blister at the skin. Can you deal your damage to Joe, please?
I don't really know what it would be. Would it just be
It's just the actual right damage,
which is a D6, I think, isn't it? Or was it a D8?
I can't
Try not to kill him.
I'll do my best. Blood maledicts D6. Sorry. Curse of Crimson. Yeah, it's D6. It went from a 2 and then rolled backwards off my mouse mat and went to a 5.
So as you're gripping down and Joe is there screaming, High Priest Arcaner will sort of move up and sort of push you to move away and start casting a healing spell. Dante, as they're sort of pulling you away, you obviously can resist, but you would feel that it's not changing.
Oh, let go.
And again, there's almost like a small little like scoff.
Turns and walks back.
High Priest Arcaner will look a little bit concerned towards Dante, but be healing.
What were you trying to do, Dante?
Tenebris has knowledge of this. In our fight, he spoke about it.
This is what Tanabori taught him.
I thought of my power. If there is any link, it would work. It didn't. And he laughed. But he knows. He has close knowledge of what happened.
It seems unlikely that he's going to help us in this, though.
Dante, just give me a straight D20 roll for me. And okay, I would say they're Volu. Actually, what is everybody's passives in size? You're all not awful, are you? I think
13
each.
each.
Yeah.
16.
14 insight.
Okay, so I would say that all of you, when Dante shakes their head when you say he's probably not going to help us, will he? You catch like a pause for a moment, and Dante, you hear "You're not going to tell them about my offer." Oh, naughty Dante.
Ironically, Ichi, as that comment's kind of like made, Ichi will kind of be like, well, they probably will, but for something. These entities always want to gain things, so they're always happy to give you the information you want. It'll just always come at a price or not be the full extent of what you want.
They will not deal with it. And we'll just, again, turn around and walk off.
Okay, and I'd say as you do, Dante, there is, as you're walking away and pondering it, there is almost that thought of it feels different sometimes. Like the flames you had when you shifted felt slightly different to the flames you were just using then, and almost again you're getting just like maybe there's something else I need to do. Maybe there's a different way when I pull forwards, and you sort of, I'm going to say you go away sort of pondering on how to do it without Tenebris's assistance.
Maybe what we could do is go back to the market if there are other people like this and just follow them, see where they go, see if they maybe are heading to the mines, see if they're meeting with anybody or if anybody seems to be controlling them in any way.
We could just.
It is fairly late, but you are welcome to go down and take a look if you wish. I will inform the guards about the mines. I think they a lot of them. I'm pretty sure they are closed tomorrow
because of the raid.
For the parade. Well, the parade. You know that the parade is tomorrow. The race is the day after. And yeah, it is fairly late in the evening right now. And for you guys, you would know that you're probably at some point need to head back to the Rusty Bucket to get your. There's like the instructions of where you need to go tomorrow for the parade and all those sorts of things. But they say we will inform the guards, and our priests are still out looking.
I think we should probably head to them if we can head to the mines tonight, scout it out.
We could do that maybe on the way home.
But obviously, if something's there, it's probably going to take our attention, and it'll be harder for us to get fully rested before whatever is happening tomorrow with this parade.
Well, what time is the parade? And do we have to collect the car to go into the parade? So
So you know that it's definitely not morning.
hmm.
It's because there is the performance festival contest first.
Yeah.
And then after all the contests are announced, that's when the parade will happen. So that's almost like the last thing in the day.
So perhaps better to do it tonight and rest in the morning than try and do something in the morning and get waylaid then.
I agree.
Volu,
Okay.
what do you think?
The more I think of this, the more I get confused. I don't know what to do.
I mean, Volu also, you still don't have any spells, do you? You're still tapped.
High Priest
No, I've long rested since then. I've got a few.
No, you short rested.
No, we long rested from when I got drained of all my spells, and I've done 1 or 2 since then.
Yeah, I thought you had long rested.
I can't
Yeah, but
remember.
not since
Not
Joe.
since the
Because we long rested, and then I went up
yeah,
to the thing,
yeah.
tried doing Rochambeau, got
and you went
got
down.
hit.
Yeah. So High Priest Arkin, I would say you are obviously welcome to go and look, and I appreciate your assistance, but also remember that the guards and the priests are also looking out, and you do have your race coming up. Maybe just keep an eye out. Volu, if you hear from Astera or see anything more, please let me know. I will commune with them tonight.
Of course.
Okay.
For now, they do say you are welcome to stay. We have spare rooms, but also I understand if you wish to head back to where all your stuff and equipment is and your spare clothes and such.
Yeah.
I can send you a sending should anything happen in the meantime.
Thank you, High Priestess.
They would look over to almost where Dante had left before shaking their head and going back to what they're doing.
Elaine's just gone, oh shit, Dante left in her head. And she's gonna realise that, nod at Arcaner, and almost run out the door to try and find him.
Quickly follow suit.
I've just had oh, we're not supposed to let him go on his own.
You're so bad at it.
Yeah.
It's the emo character of and they leave.
Yeah.
And then we're all there like, oh yeah, they're being emo. Wait,
Yeah.
no, we can't let them be emo.
It's actually quite fun playing the character because I don't do it out deliberate.
I would say to Dante, how far have you gone?
I'd imagine probably to the door which has sealed me in.
True, actually. So to be fair, as you sort of begin moving that way, Elena, you can see that Dante is waiting at the glowing sigil door. However, so I will say High Priest Arcaner will sort of start heading that way, but Volu, you know the hymn, and you reckon that you would be able to open the door.
I can give it an attempt.
Yeah, so do you want to give me a...
You're going to sing, Paul?
It's going to be
It's a prayer, it's not necessarily a hymn.
Yeah, it will be a performance with a... no, it won't. You can either do a proficient performance or a religion check.
Religion. 15.
Okay, so you place a hand on the handle and recite the hymn, and you feel as you finish almost as you're going through the hymn, the handle is becoming looser and looser, and eventually you are able to open the door. High Priest Arcanair would stop halfway and sort of smile a little bit and nod at Volu and say, "Please reset the ward after you have left."
Okay.
I won't ask for a roll the second time. You are able to head out, close the door, and reset reset the ward on the other side. And you would be left in the main room. You can see now that the guards have left in most of the commotion. There is the floral Grundon currently cleaning around the black, icky, gloopy blood. A few priests are setting out the pews again and making them sort of straight and making sure everything looks good and right and proper. But you are left here in this space. It is maybe about 9:30. Getting pretty late.
I need to find Demetrius.
What?
I need to find Demetrius.
You said he'd be back with us soon.
Sorry, that confused me. What?
Wait, we're not talking about Ichi's mate, are we?
No.
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 Who's
don't know.
Demetrius?
Who's Ichi's mate? Sorry, just quickly.
That was Arta
Grant.
To be fair, I never actually got his name, so that's the thing. Who is it?
Yeah.
Is it Garant?
Arta Garant.
Yeah.
Arthur Garant.
Sir Arthur
Sir
Garant.
Arthur
Arthur
Garant.
Garant. Sorry, I'm lost. Who's Demetrius?
He was the one that created bonding of creatures into objects.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I've been thinking on it. My bond is weakening. I need to restrain and keep him away.
I don't know if we're going to be able to find him tonight, though, Dante.
I don't know how it's going to work binding something that's already bound. That's another thing.
You still will know more than what I know.
Although, I was going to ask, do we think that our powerful friend,
No.
do you think she should be warned about what's going on in the city? Do you think that that might be bad for her business too? We know we've got the guards and the priests out looking. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who you meant.
Sorry, because she basically said it. People who say her name in vain get thrown off buildings, right? So I'm trying to be. So
wouldn't be saying her name in vain if we're being like, hey, we should help her.
Well, I'm just like, do you think?
I definitely think it might at least curry favor with us. Show that we're not against her.
Beecham, what was the Knights of your Order called again?
Iris Knights.
This is a good recap for you, audience, by the way. It's not us not remembering anything.
Yeah, we completely know what we're on about all the time.
Hey, I'm making notes.
Oh my god!
Only of people who I actually need to get to at some point.
Yep, the Iris Knights are definitely a tick box for that.
But yeah, there are a few different routes you can take. Remember, you don't necessarily have to take all
Not
routes.
the stairs.
Yeah. Avoiding stairs where possible. But you don't have to take all routes if you don't want. But there are some routes available to you. Where would you like to head? Do you want to go by and check out the mine, or would you like to? To be fair, as much as Volu hates the stairs, a short trip down the stairs to your right,
it's literally down, isn't it?
It's literally like if you take the stairs, it is.
I'm gonna tug on Eleni's coat and be like, "I've had a day. Would you mind giving me a hand?"
Absolutely. I'll sort of put a hand down so that you can almost climb up me rather than me scooping you up. And then it's up to you whether you want to like sit on one shoulder or like do a piggyback or however you want to, and I'll carry
I'll
on.
I'll be on one shoulder, and a little bit of like jovialness restores to me, and I'll be like, I used to travel like this with Tanabori.
Is she tall? Is she big?
She's taller than me.
Cool. I think.
She always said I had little legs.
Well, let's head down the stairs. I think the mine entrance is probably fairly close to where we were, isn't it?
So there are 2 mine entrances. So there,
Yeah.
well, technically 3, but there are 2 that are active. Both of them are on the first shelf, the upper shelf of the Forge Ward. The closest one you were actually quite close to the other night. When you were on Cliffside Street, where
That's what I was
you
thinking. It's like over that side.
there is one that is maybe only 5-10 minutes from that position. The other one is more like 20. It's like right on the edge of the upper Forge Ward. But yeah, you could fairly quickly make your way.
Should we head to the one that was near the what's it called? The string
Yeah.
portal.
I think we should go to that one. That seems to be
Okay.
close by to where that trouble was.
So you begin heading down. You do make your way down the large obsidian steps. As you are making your way, looking out over the night lit, you can see the lanterns lighting the different buildings throughout Cadfesi, and almost the large looming lack of light that you know is the space around the Colosseum. And as you make your way down into the Forge Ward, it's fairly quiet. There's not a lot going on, but as you get closer, you actually get to Cliffside Street. And you're like maybe one street over from where you were at that building. And you can actually see a few people moving in the same direction. And they're like at the other end of the street, and you can see somebody sort of comes out of the house and sort of says, do you know, anyone knows what's going on? And somebody sort of passes in and says, like, something at the mines. And they're not running or like screaming, but they're like curious, right? Like something has happened, or there's been a noise or something nearby. You follow the moving groups, and again, like it's not crowds. By the time you get there, there's maybe 8 people, and they are stood up against. There are 2 dust-covered dwarves that are currently stood with their hands out. They're like putting out like makeshift blocks and like a fence, and they're like, please stay back. We don't know if there are going to be any further collapses. Stay away from the edges of the mountain, please. Behind them, you can see that there's still sort of shouting of like, are there any more down there? We still got someone accounted for. And they're sort of like shouting back and forth. They're holding a distance of like 30 foot from the edge, from the mine entrance, where they're setting out this cordon, but you can almost hear at the edge of the mine, and occasionally a dwarf or furball emerges carrying somebody, or carting some people up, and it seems there was a collapse.
Dante's going to lean over to Eleni. Actually, does Dante know about you being able to sense fiends and that?
I mean,
I haven't hid it, and I've done it a couple of times now.
It's not, I would say she's not necessarily that she said she's doing it.
I've not announced it.
She has said,
I know she's done it, but I don't know if Dante would know what she's done.
No, but she has said out loud to you, "Oh, I don't sense any fiends at the minute."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that she
said it. I said it in the room with.
That's fine. That was what I was going to ask. So I'm just going to lean in. Do you sense any fiends?
I will try. Can I sense any fiends?
Sense maybe 4.
So I would just within 1 mile.
Again, that is within 1 mile, and you don't get directions.
Pull out the mace.
So counting, there are maybe 5 miners that you can see.
Kill them all.
But also, yeah.
No.
Dante, and potentially Ichi, actually. For the other 2, you're not really from mining towns. It's well late to be doing a shift.
Can I walk up to one of the dwarves who's like, trying to keep people back and just say, do you need any help?
So, no, thank you. The guards are on their way. We've pretty much got everyone out. We need to we need to head back. They definitely, Eleni, even with your passive insight, there's a bridge of like, I don't know what I fucking say anyway. Like there's like they seem on edge about, and they're looking back to one of the others still covered in dust, a large furbolg that's currently shouting at them like, grab all the equipment. We're gonna have to tell boss about we're gonna have to tell the mining guild, and they are all wearing proper mining gear. They are displaying mining guild signs, and they are also displaying the badges of the workers and miners guild.
Are they covered in the same dust that we saw on the boots?
Yes.
Right.
One of them is one of the dwarfs sort of looks at the furbolg and sort of says like I give you a perception. They try to wit that, and this is one of the dwarfs that's 30 foot away, right? The two that are in front of you are still very much just trying to be like, we don't need any assistance at the minute.
15.
Eleni, you would sort of hear there's almost like not everyone's out, and then and then you would see more mouthed from the furbolg sealed, like it's sealed, and then like they're almost like a downcast look over the first dwarf's face before they nod and start picking up stuff, and they all start to sort of please stay away from the mines. By the order of the Working and Miners Guild, this mine is unsafe for work. And they're sort of like, and you would see, Ichi, you recognize this more. You get that these maybe are not straight up miners, but like inspectors or something around. They definitely officially work with the mine because they're not trying to hide at all. They're being very upfront about everything. But they're definitely not one of the miners that just comes and looks at Zikar. So you would gather off this potentially something happened, potentially they were called in to look at the mine. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Like something must have happened that prompted this team to get called in.
Is there any other way in?
Are you asking that out loud?
Yeah.
As they give me. No, I'm not going to ask for persuasion. As the dwarf that you're talking to does sort of like, I'm going to say that you're passive again. You get the answer of no from their face as they're almost about to tell you before the furbolg sort of, sorry, unfortunately, any details are you would have to talk to the head of the Working and Mining Guild. You can head to their offices. And again, they, like as the coffin, they are covered in this grayish dust stuff. But they, go on, Dante.
So how many of them are there? 5.
5 of them.
Are they kind of like all lined up in front?
So there's 3 of them that are currently maybe 20 foot away, currently stacking all their equipment onto not a car, but like a sled. And it is an actual sled, not hovering. It is just a basic pulley sled. The 2 nearest Eleni that are next to Eleni and are closest to you is a large furbolg and 2 dwarfs.
And
sorry, so 2 of them are at the back.
So the thing is, and then further, is there like a hole and then it's down, or are we talking like it's right in front of me?
No. So that entrance looks fine. There is stuff spilling out of it because obviously like it rushes
like
all
smoke
into one
and
exit
dust and stuff.
Yeah, but it's not that there's debris. You can see the tunnel. It's a little bit hazy, and you can see that there's like that cloud of dust that's sort of settling now in the aftermath. But they are still blocking it off and fencing it off, and all of the fences they're sticking on these like signs that say by order of the mining and their Workers and Mining Guild, this is unsafe for work. Please stay away.
Dante kind of just leans over towards Ichi and just kind of go, looks like they don't want us in.
Ichi's going to step up to the furbolg that seems to be more dominant in the conversation. Go on, Dante.
If you're going to, at the moment you go to engage furbolg, Dante runs into it. I want to. I'm doing it because I want to see their reaction.
Okay.
I mean, the dwarfs are going to try and grapple you.
That was why I was trying to ascertain.
And again, I would say for Dante as a fighter, these are not trained fighters. This is not somebody trying this is not somebody like pinning you in the same way as if you imagine like if you saw somebody walking into a road without looking, their car was coming.
Yeah, they're going to try to.
They're shielding you. They're not grabbing you, but they are going to try and stop your movement. So it will be an athletics or an acrobatics from yourself.
And Liam, can I just check?
Yeah.
The reactions that we're getting are actually what you'd expect. That
Yeah,
they're
and from your
sad, they're
passive,
upset, they think it's dangerous. There's
the two at the back, from your passives, the two at the back are definitely more downtrodden. The three that are up, it definitely seems professional. It seems above board. They genuinely seem like they are doing something official. And an accident has happened.
So it doesn't look like it's a cover up. Something else has happened, and then
not from what
that's kind of that's what I'm trying to force them to do a reaction.
Yeah, they got a 17.
Oh, 19.
Okay, so they do try and shield you, but you would break through. The Furbolg would just sort of go, sir, if you go any further, you are accepting all liability to yourself. We tried to stop you. We have warned you. If you enter and lose your life, it will not be down to us or the city.
With that, Ichi will step up. Forgive my companion. He's just quite brash with getting to work. My name is Ichi. I'm a member of the Iris Knights. We are here investigating possible extraplanar causes. Is there any helpful information that you are able to give us before this investigation continues? I understand that you probably have your own internal investigations underway. This is sadly further beyond that.
They're like Iris Knights. I mean, you don't look like the Iris Knight we spoke to already. They were dealing with the Zorns.
Ichi taps the chest, brings the shield up.
Yeah, and he will sort of go, "You're missing, and you know you're missing the badge that makes you a knight because you are still an apprentice." They say, "Yeah, the big fella, something Garan. He had
yes. Oh God, now I need to call that name. What was that? Arta. Sir Arta, yes.
This it seems like an aftershock. He told us that they had dealt with two or three of the Zorns out in the plains, but that we might feel some tremors and we should investigate the mines. Unfortunately, one of our newer offshoots has fully collapsed. It seems contained right now, but we would appreciate if people who are not knowledgeable about mining and rock to stay out, please, for now.
I understand the concern. Sadly, we are going to have to go in, and we do take accountability for our own actions. Is there any information you can give me from within?
We are not permitted to help. If I help, then I am aiding you in what is a foolish action that might get you all killed. You should wait for the guard and for the mining and workers guild to send people. They will be over in a matter of hours. We speaking on that. They will again sort of turn a bit away. You can tell that there is a level of adrenaline as like this. They weren't like expecting this, so there's definitely like a level of they're trying to keep the situation. They will point to one of the two dwarfs that are like shielding and say, "You two, I need you to wait for the guard and explain what's happened." The other two looking ready, they're gonna say like, "You two with me. We must. I'm sorry, friends. I have said what I have said, but we must go and inform the Miners Guild as soon as possible."
Of
course.
Ichi.
Then they will sort of move away to sort of pulling the sled and moving towards where the mining guild is in the forge ward, but it's in the lower forge. So they're going to just have to go down to the next level.
Ichi.
Yes, Helene.
I am making an assumption here that you want to go in there to rescue the people who are trapped. Or is there another reason?
Well, that's Certainly a part of it. You said that you felt presence of fiends, yes?
I did. But if the fiends are on the other side of the I know we don't know if they are, but if the fiends are on the other side of the collapse, we can't get through.
And Dante, sorry, have you stopped now? Are you like, did you like, or are you still just going in?
Why is
Like,
Dante just running up?
I assumed once you burst through them and were at the door of the thing that you paused, like they weren't chasing you. You know what I mean?
So I would have gone in to stick my head in, but I should hopefully be in sight roughly of them.
Okay, you look down. There is a long, long tunnel down.
Because I'm also going to say, yes, I sensed fiends, but I don't know what direction those fiends are. They could be within the city. So if you want to go in and try and rescue miners, I am willing to come in and help. But what are we trying to do here?
I mean,
we were also at the mine for more than just that. We were there for our own investigation. We have reason to believe this is where they came from.
We do, but now there's been a collapse and it's dangerous.
I don't understand. Like, I don't see why the danger is enough of a risk for us to not go in. Because if we don't, we're going to be out of commission. Like, we can give up on the race. But by all means, I'm happy with that. But if we don't, from this point on, there's going to be at least 2 days of us out of commission, of a parade that we need to be a part of, and a race.
I just wanted to make sure that we were doing this for the right reasons. This is dangerous. If the mine is collapsing, that's nothing to do with fiends or supernatural or magical issues.
Possible elemental cause.
Could be anything, couldn't it? But I don't want to just run into danger for no reason. I want to make sure we're doing it for the right
It's not for no reason.
Okay.
If there is the chance that it could be something causing this, I would rather go in and check rather than wash my hands of it on the possibility it isn't.
Okay, then I am with you.
Dante, if you take one more step without us, I am going to cut your head off. Tenebris or not. And he turns around and storms towards Dante.
We've got Volu following on, I assume.
Yep.
And,
just listening to the Dante foreplay.
Yeah, and as the group storm into the dark reaches of the mine systems of Cadfesi, that is where we will end part 1 of our episode. Thank you very much for joining. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the adventure so far, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.